Hi, everyone. I wanted to talk a little bit today about the wafer paper conditioner because I'm going to be doing a bunch of flower videos, and depending on, how much conditioner you put on the paper, it makes the wafer paper do different things. And I have had people say, like, how much conditioner should I use? When I make the wafer paper conditioner with the recipe that I posted, and I'll post the link in the description, it's strong, meaning there's a lot of glycerin in it. I do that because it gets very dry, and I personally like to have the paper be very pliable, but a little goes a long way. So you don't really need to add too much. Now, I made this flower about 2 months ago, and I want to show you this petal. See how soft this still is? I think when I made this, it was a little too wet, and so I probably put a little too much on there. But glycerin is basically just a humectant, which means it attracts moisture. So as long as there's glycerin sitting on here, it's going to attract moisture. It's going to keep the wafer paper pliable. But I mean, this is really very, very pliable and is completely non-wafer papery. That's not normal. This doesn't have as much, and you can see it kind of bends. It's not, it feels a lot crispier. All right. This is very, very soft. So you can see the difference between this one, how that one moves, and this one doesn't. Well, you might not be able to see the difference. Listen, hear that? It's just very soft. Okay, so I just wanted to show you the difference there because this is a really good example. If you put a lot of the conditioner on, it will kind of shrivel up to begin with, but when it dries, it stays very flexible for a long time. Now, you might not need them to be that flexible for a long time. This flower I made with no conditioner at all, and it's very stiff. Like you can hear that. Right? That's a very stiff wafer paper flower. I used vodka to make this one, and the petals are really not that flexible at all. They bend because they're long, but they're stiff, and if you feel them, they're very non-flexible. Okay. I made this one yesterday. This one has, I can do this. This one has some glycerin. I brushed this on instead of spraying it. I believe for this one, I was using the spray bottle. For this one, I brushed it on and I just did a little bit, and it gets absorbed into the back of the paper. The front of this paper is printed. So I have these wafer paper kits. I'm going to do a whole series on peonies. I'm so excited. I've got like 6 different ways to make wafer paper peonies, depending on how realistic you want them. But I did this one yesterday just as a test, and this does have glycerin on it. Like this one, you can see I'm really bending it. So this one has a little bit more. I know it's hard to tell, but the leaves that have more glycerin are really bendy. Like you can actually curl them up. And the ones that don't have as much are a little bit stiffer. But you really don't need to put a tremendous amount of glycerin on, except for the petals that are on the outside, because those are the ones that when you put them on the cake, you want them to be able to bend when they're pressing up against other flowers in the arrangement so that they don't crack and break off. And this is an example. I made this sunflower. I do have a tutorial for this up on my blog already. This one doesn't have any conditioner at all because it's just short petals. They don't curve. Sunflower petals are very flat, and you don't really need to do anything to these. So I didn't use any conditioner on this one at all. And the whole thing is made of wafer paper. That's wafer paper also. But it just, you don't need it. So some flowers require it, some flowers don't. It depends sometimes how you're using it, but if you put too much of any kind of liquid on it, it's going to shrivel the paper up. And I'll be going through the different steps of making different types of flowers and that kind of thing, but I just wanted to kind of touch on that. So you can either use a spray bottle or you can brush it on. The less glycerin that you put in to the conditioner, and this is water and glycerin, that's it. And like I said, I'll put the link to the description of the video, I think there's a blog article with the recipe. I'll put the link in the description. But I do half and half, and that's a lot of glycerin, but I like that. And a little goes a long way. It just softens everything. It keeps it nice and flexible and pliable. But you don't need to use it on every single flower. Some of it depends where you're going to be using the flowers. You can use vodka with it. It can be vodka and glycerin so that the liquid evaporates faster and the glycerin is left. Totally up to you. You can put color in it. I'm going to go through all this in my next videos. I'm going to do so many flower videos. I can't wait. Okay, so watch out for those. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, because then you'll get notified. And I will talk to you guys later.